All right. I believe it is time. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. What's up? And if you're live, because you should be able to hear me. You should be able to see me. You should be able to do all the things. So I'm going to make sure of it. And if you're live, drop the number 5. If you're live with me, okay? Let me just double, triple check. All the things are good to rock behind me. Hello, hello, hello. And now that you're here, like what's up? Now that you're here, like I said, don't be shy. Go ahead and say hi. Drop the number 5 if you're live with me. And tag a teammate, like tag a friend. And tell me where you are tuning in from. Like, are you at home, work, school? Are you on the West Coast? Are you on the East Coast, North, South? Where are you? I'm going to introduce myself and make sure that you guys know a little bit about me. And then I'm going to jump right into my notes. It's quite interesting that my good friend Becky asked me to jump up here. Thank you for the invitation, Becky. I actually just got done talking to another team about this, and I am so happy because I have my notes. I have my notes, okay? And they are simple, very simple notes. So I'm going to highly suggest that you grab some pen and paper as we get this kicked off. It has been 2 minutes. Let me just make sure my camera's not going to fall off tonight. It has been 2 minutes, and guess what? When it hits the 4-minute mark, that is when Facebook really, really loves your video. And by the 4-minute mark, it will actually pop up in your notifications. So there's your first tip right there without even talking about my topic. I'm going to sit here and I'm actually going to wait until 4 minutes. Like, what's up? Which we're practically at 3 minutes right now, but that's what the world of Facebook is. Once you hit that 4-minute mark, it pops up in your VIP group, you know, those people that are in your VIP groups, or the people that you're connected with, the people that are following you, the people that are watching you and they're your friends, wherever, on whatever social media platform you're using. 99% of them want you to be live for at least 4 minutes. No joke. I know that sounds crazy, but TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook all have shown that they love the 4-minute minimum. So, of course, as you get up here and you start tagging and you start commenting, see, now I can see your comments. Now I can see stuff. It's just about 3 minutes. And if you're ever curious, you're like, man, LaWanda, I go live a lot, but I only talk for like 2 or 3 minutes. If you ever feel like that's what's happening, just make a pre-recorded video, because people are on their phone and they're scrolling, right? Oh, hold on. They're scrolling through their phones and they're looking for your live, or they're scrolling through the phones and they're going to watch your quick, 60 to 90 minute pre-recorded video. Me, though, I am a huge, huge lover of Facebook Live and TikTok Live. Those are the 2 places that I go live a lot. And I absolutely love that you can download your video and you can save it. So like, for example, tonight we had some other wonderful lady locks that were asking, will there be a replay available? What I do after I make a video live is I download the video to my computer and then I upload the video to my YouTube channel, which I didn't start my YouTube channel until last year. So if you guys don't have a YouTube channel, I'm going to highly suggest you make yourself one this weekend or next week. Try to make that a goal before the end of the month, because anytime now that I do something fun, that I want to save the video, I take it off of, Facebook, and I'll put it on YouTube. And then people that want to replay, I'll have a link ready. What's up, right? So let me go ahead and jump up here and really give you guys some powerful information. You should be able to turn on closed captions. So in case you are watching this video and you don't have headphones on and I get really loud, or you're doing something with the kids right now, whatever you're doing, turn on the captions for this video. I love, love, love StreamYard. It's a free service that I use every week. And I actually enjoy using this to go live into Facebook. So as I get it started, woohoo, look at this. I see Kathy just said hello. What's up? Vivi is here. How you doing? Alicia. Okay, so here's the rules. You got to say hi. Okay, don't be shy. If you're watching this, if you're scrolling and you're like, OMG, I see what's happening. Well, guess what? It's happening in real time. Legit. Right here. Let me squeeze you and wake you up, because half of us aren't wearing a bra anyways, okay? But I have to leave right after this live, so I am wearing a bra right now, but I know for a fact that some of y'all aren't. So let me wake you up. Now, come on with it. If you're with me, you got to say hi. You got to drop the number 5 if you're live. And if you're catching the replay, which I know a lot of you might catch the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you catch the replay, I want you to drop the number 3 for the replay so I can come back and say what's up and say thank you. Because if you're watching this live, great. Thank you for taking that time with us. I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and powerful, and I've got notes. But if you're watching the replay later, I still want to say thank you. And I want to leave this video up for everybody to tag their friends. Tell us where you're tuning in from too. I want to see how far we reach this live video tonight. Okay, so I'm going to go look at the comments now, and you'll notice that about me. I don't watch the comments while I'm teaching. While I'm talking to you, I am with you. I am focused here, okay? But if I tell you, I'm like, what's up? I want to go over to the comments real quick and see what's happening, because we need that. In the world of Facebook, we need you to hit the heart button. Like, go ahead. Or if you're more of a thumb kind of girl, go ahead and hit that thumb. But hit the heart button, hit the thumb button, tell Facebook that you like what you're watching right now, so they show it off to all of your other teammates, and they show it off more on YouTube when we comment on the YouTube video. So comment, like this, love this, and tag a friend, tell a friend. So when I say that I need you to get pen and paper, I will make sure that you know what to write down. Okay. And if you need any of this, I will have it available for you, and you can message me. Go ahead and private message me on Facebook right now if you want to, in case you have questions. And then we can definitely follow each other on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. That can totally happen, so we can stay connected. I'd love to make sure that you're having success from what you learned tonight, because that's why you're spending time here, is to learn something. And so when you take that and you move on with it, I would love to hear your success. Okay. And it is summertime in my world. It's like spring into summertime. And I work out of my garage, by the way. So there's a fly, legit you're going to see me do that. Okay. Because there's a fly in my office right now. Goodness. All right. So let's say hi to Jessica. Woohoo! Alicia is so glad you made it. We got Brandy in Texas, Jessica in Texas. So I live in Chesapeake, Virginia. I have been doing Pure Romance since July of 2009, and I made board of directors in 2013, 2014. So a couple of years after I got started, I actually decided to take this more seriously. And so as I go through my information tonight, I want you guys to think about this business as something very serious, because it was at that turning point back in like 2013, 2014. It was at that turning point where I realized that when I took this business seriously, it actually seriously worked. So that's my first thing I'm going to mention right here, right now, is you have to take this more seriously. And when you do that, you're going to notice a major shift and a major change. And if you need something straight out of the easy, simple book to take this more seriously, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, the following 3 things you can say to yourself a couple times a week or a couple times a day. You can just say the following, write this down. I have hundreds of parties, I have hundreds of girls, and I have thousands in sales. Because I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to own that. You got to own that. You got to say it to yourself. Write this down. I have hundreds of parties, I have hundreds of girls, and I have thousands in sales. It's as simple as that. You're going to take it more seriously when you tell yourself that you're going to have those things and you're going to work towards those things and you're going to make those things happen. Now, oh, what's up, South Georgia? I know, I looked at the comments. Did you see that? As we get into this, I had a specific question from a wonderful lady lock. Her name is Beth. I know she's up here watching, so I want to answer her question right away so she can get about her evening, and then I'm going to jump into some very basic hybrid type of training. It's a perspective that I have. And it's a new perspective. It's something that I've adapted and adopted in like the last couple of years. So right here. Oh, thank you, Becky. That was my next thing. I was going to be like, hey, can somebody type that? Hundreds of parties, hundreds of girls, thousands of sales. All right. So say it to yourself, write it down, and put it on your desk or put it on your dashboard in your car. Okay, so we are just roughly past the 10-minute mark. So I know for a fact that Facebook loves this video, because not only do we have almost double digits, like almost 10 people watching live right now, that's a really good sign. But you guys, we have over 40 comments happening over here. This is wonderful. So keep it up, keep loving, keep liking the video. All right, now I'm going to get serious with y'all. When Beth asked, hold on, I want to make sure I cannot pronounce her last name. Willits? I'm going to get that wrong. Oh my goodness. But when Beth asked, she said, so she is focused on her business being online. She works another full-time job. She's a full-time college student. What is my best tip for management, like time management, like time for home, spouse, virtual parties, your team, VIP group, stuff like that. So for example, I have a couple of ideas, and a lot of those ideas came from a specific book. And I actually just lent that book to a friend of mine. And I'm going to share a couple of these ideas with you, Beth, because it changed my life and it was incredible. So I'm going to quickly screenshot this image and put it into the live so you guys can see this book I'm talking about. But the title of the book is called 15 Secrets Successful People Know About Time Management. And you can get it hard copy. You can get it in a lot of different ways. Actually, I bet you I could just put the link to Amazon so you guys can purchase it if you want, or get it on Kindle or whatever, right? But let me jump in here. The secret successful, oh my goodness, Becky knows what I'm talking about. Thank you, Becky. So secret successful people know about time management. And there were 2 particular things out of the 15, by the way, 15 things, 15 ways. There were 2 particular ways that I started doing to help me with time management right away. And I actually read this book a couple times a year just to refresh myself. But when I first read it, there were 2 particular things that just blew my mind, right? And the first thing was to turn off all notifications on my phone except emergency needs. And I kid you not, I started doing a lot more with my time when my phone was not checking on me and going off on me, but rather the opposite, where now I check my phone, I check my notifications. Those notifications do not check me and disturb me and interfere with my time. I kid you not, you guys, when I turned off my email notifications, which I have 3 emails, one for the kids and all the school stuff, one for my husband and all of our professional stuff, all of our legal stuff, and then the third one's for business. And the business one is split off in a couple different ways because of my team. But I had to turn all those notifications off, and then I turned off notifications for every other thing like Instagram, Facebook, all those things. And I no longer looked at the notifications. I know you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I could not know what's going on. I don't know if I could not be notified. It was mind blowing that after a couple of days, I actually started to feel like I was in control. I started feeling like I could really manage my time better. So that's the first thing. And that came out of that book. And I give that book all of that praise. The second thing that I used right away that the book really blew my mind, and it's actually part of my hybrid business training. So I'm so glad Beth asked that question on the post, because when I saw that, because I came back to check the post, right? I didn't for Facebook, like, don't wait. Why wait? So go back and just make it part of your to-do, list of the day to check that post if that's your focus of the day. So, of course, I came back and Beth asked that question about time management, and I was like, boom, you've got to talk to her and everybody else here that is watching about the book. So we put the book in the comments, and I'll make sure it goes in the YouTube comments on this video as well. But the second thing I took from that book was blocking time. I'm going to say it one more time, but blocking time. Having blocks of your time to get stuff done. Let me try to explain this a little differently. Blocks of time are chunks of your week, chunks of your month, small, tiny chunks of your day, and of course, chunks of your year and blocks of time within decades. I mean, the book will help you understand time blocking, but it was from the book that I'm talking about, the 15 Ways of Time Management that Successful People Know. When I started learning about time blocking within time management, I started using it not just for business, but for pleasure. So when Beth asked that about, okay, I've got, she works a full-time job, so that's a block. That's a chunk of her day. That's a chunk of her week. That's a chunk of her month, right? When she talks about being a full-time college student, she probably has specific time frames of the year where she's needing to cram and study and execute some really good papers or execute some really good exams. And then she has other blocks and chunks of time throughout her school year that are a little less demanding. She knows this. She's in it to win it. I'm not in that. She knows. Also, what is an easy time management for home, spouse, virtual parties, your team, your VIP group, stuff like that? Now I'm going to tell Beth right away, and I'm going to tell everybody else watching. I'm going to tell y'all what I wish I would have told myself in 2009 when I first started my business in 2009. I'm going to tell you that it is okay to turn off the light switch in your office. And by the way, when I first started in 2009, my home office was the corner of the kitchen counter in my house. It was just a small little 2x2 spot in my kitchen where I kept my bags, my papers, my computer, which back then was one of those little like notebook, you got to open it things. Who knows what I'm talking about? Hell, we still had flip phones back in 2008, 2009. So that was that little corner. That was where I went to work, my Pure Romance business. That's where I left my work for my Pure Romance business. And when I started studying about time management, when I read that book, when I really started implementing it here in my life, I started embracing a lot more. So the permission I'm giving you, the thing that I wish somebody would have told me back when I started, is it's okay not to work and it's okay to work, because when you have that mentality about your Pure Romance business, when you have a clock in time and a clock out time, when you have a chunk, when you have that block of time in your head, maybe it's only 2 days a week, maybe it's only an hour, maybe it's a half an hour because that's all you have time for because you're in school and work and you've got the kids and the spouse. But at least it's that. At least you're giving yourself and your business that. Plus, when you can walk away from the business and actually leave it alone, don't check it. Don't sit on the toilet and check your business. Don't pull up somebody's message who's about to spend $100 with you and go take her money in the middle of your family dinner. You are going to feel so much better when you go back to work. It feels so good when you sit back down in your space, whatever your workspace is. You're not going to think about school. You're not going to think about work, your other job. You're not going to think about the kids because the kids know you're at work. Like right now, I've got 2 kids myself, 4 dogs, a husband, and a whole bunch of other chaos happening in my house right now. But they know I am not there. I'm at work. So time blocking and having a chunk of time each day. So for example, I'll give you my day as an example, but Beth and anybody else that's watching this is going to realize that it's going to be very different, but it's manageable and it's doable, right? So as I wrap up this segment of time management, I just want to mention you can choose. You really can. I know sometimes you think you can't, but you really can choose when you're going to work your Pure Romance business. You can block the times of the week. For example, Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm all about my team. I am all about talking to them, strategizing with them. That's when we have our meetings. That's when we get together as leadership. That's when I pull reports. That's when I'm scheduling posts in our team group. That's when I'm asking other leadership on my team to help me because I can't do it all. I'm passing out different tasks for that week or for that month. So technically, if I'm only doing that on Mondays and Tuesdays, that's 4 weeks in a month, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8 days a month that I am seriously putting on my blinders and I work with my team. Now, and that includes recruit leads and new ladies that are joining me and all them lovely things. Now, Wednesday, Thursdays, I'm usually with my family. We do something together. We plan something together. And that can change. That can change. But usually Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays in the evenings, or sometimes that changes to the afternoon, I'll be doing a party. Now that's chunks of my week. And that's what you guys can think about. Don't think about your work schedule just being a daily thing. Break it up to a weekly thing, break it up to a monthly thing. You have control over what chunk of time you're going to do this. Like, for example, Thursdays, like up until 8 o'clock when my kids go to bed, but we always have a big family dinner. We're always cooking together that night. Sometimes we go out, sometimes we go shopping, sometimes we're playing board games. But as soon as the kids come home from school on a Thursday, that's when my block of time is at home, pretty much from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. I know for a fact that chunk of time is with them. Now, during the summer, again, that changes a little bit, but I keep it in chunks of time so I know when I'm walking away. So I hope this makes sense. And gosh, I feel like I'm talking in circles. So I'm going to make a left turn over to my hybrid 50-50 business and how I manage that right now. But Beth Willits, I hope that helps. Please consider taking, an hour or so to flip through that book, because it's a very small, very powerful book. But I'm not going to lie, when it comes down to time management, my 2 tips for that is to turn off notifications on everything. And you make sure, well, for emergencies, I keep my phone, my text, my kids and my husband, text and call me. So I keep that on. But everything else, you guys, turn your notifications off and you check them. They don't check you. And then my other tip of time management is blocking time for vacations, blocking time for trips, blocking time for school, for date nights with your spouse, block time with your team, and block time for your business. All of it deserves your time. So why not block it? And don't forget your own self-care. Take a moment or two and give yourself your own block. Mine is when I put all 4 of my dogs on a leash and I take this wonderful walk around my neighborhood. My phone is turned, off except for the phone calls for emergency, but I turn it off. I don't listen to it. I turn on my favorite music, and it's a good half an hour to 45-minute walk, and it just clears my mind, and that's my self-care. You know what I'm saying? So, but please, 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 drop in the comments. What did you just learn there? What did you just learn? Are you going to try that? Are you going to try blocking and chunking your time each week, each month, each year, each day? Okay, because I know for a fact there's certain months that I work way more business than other months. And so I actually I look at that every single year. All right, if you have more questions, thoughts, or things, especially after you read that 15 Ways Successful People Use Time Management book, if you read that, you got questions, let me know. Let Becky know, because it's her favorite book too. All right, let's jump into some notes about that hybrid business before I continue to talk in circles, because I love talking about blocking time. But my gosh, it's a great long conversation, but it really is something that you can figure out. And I used to tell people all the time, if you have young kids, if you are working with elderly parents right now, there is different ways you can schedule all the things. It really is. It may require you to stay up an hour later, or it may require you to get up an hour earlier. Somewhere you're going to have to make a change. You're going to have to make a change in order to see a change. If that resonates with anybody, you got to be willing to make a change in order to see a change. Okay. All right. So let me jump over here and just real quick, let me look at the comments, because I just saw something that Becky said and she's talking about borrowing it. So Becky, the whole reason I don't have my book to show you guys, because I actually did go get some of my favorite books to show y'all. And I'll go ahead and do that real quick. But Becky, our team, our local lilies, our local lusted lilies, we have a team library. And we keep it on the shelves here at my home office. And when we have team events or team get-togethers, our local lilies, because we don't have time to be shipping a whole bunch of stuff to each other. So we do a local library. And when we have team events here, people from our team can check out books and then they can keep it for up to a month, you know, until our next team meeting. And then, they have to return it, or they have to buy a new one if they lost it. So, we have a notebook. People check stuff out. People bring stuff back, and it's kind of nice, you know. It kind of helps out. But a lot of women just like to look at what's in my library half the time, and then they just go to Amazon and buy themselves the book. But here's a few of my favorites that I've read and I have reread over the years. Okay, first of all, if you haven't heard of Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you give a lot of fucks, you need to stop giving so many. Lizzo has a great new song out about giving too many fucks. Well, Mark Manson has a great pretty much living the good life mentality. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it was one of Chris Cicchinelli's favorite books a couple years ago. So I'm all about that book. And another book that I absolutely love that I have read on an airplane at least a dozen times is The Me Incorporated by Gene Simmons himself. Yes, the man behind Kiss. This is literally how he became who he is and how he was able to teach others to be their true selves. And this book helped me tremendously when it came to confidence building, focus, and insight on what I wanted to do. So again, Me Incorporated, written by Gene Simmons himself. If you've never heard of this book, seen this book, I love this book. Okay, but get ready for some curse words, because that guy is all about some curse words. And then the last book is not something you can read, but it's something you can write in. And I was given this book by my really good friend Jesse on the board of directors a couple years ago. And yes, it says, "Fuck it, I'm journaling the shit show." And she gave this, no joke, she gave this journal to me in December of 2019, y'all. 2019. And it's a journal. It's got a couple more empty pages in it for me to show you. But if you do not journal, like I just got done entering something the other day, you have to write, you have to get it down. I usually, before I leave my office at the end of the day, I will sit here and I will journal my thoughts. I will journal what I feel good about, what I did well. I'll journal about what the hell, what shit show went down or what went crazy. And then I leave my business mindset, my crap, my good stuff, everything, I leave it here at work, and then I go focus on the house and the kids and the family and the animals, you know? All right, so a couple of things about running a hybrid business. First of all, if you're like Beth and you just want to work online, I have a couple of tips for you. First of all, remember to block your time to work your online business. And to save you time, I'm going to suggest pre-recorded videos for your online parties. I'm going to suggest Vizly, V-I-Z-Z. I put this in my post earlier today too, but Vizly.com. Make sure you look into that. That saves me a crap ton of time. I am always putting together something that schedules to post. And that's what that is. You can create templates, and like Becky could make a team inside of Vizly. That's what me and the Leslie Lilies did. And inside of Vizly, you can actually share what you're scheduling to post. So if if you have a post for your parties or for your VIP groups or for your flash sales, all of that has a lot to do with scheduling. And of course, Facebook has its own schedule type of feature. You might use other stuff. I think there's other stuff, SendShare, Party, Post My Party. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I'm not gonna lie, in 2018 or 2019, I started using Vizly. Changed my life, y'all. Okay, so other ways you can actually have time management within your online parties, besides your pre-recorded videos, besides Vizly, I also suggest that you pick a time, again, you block time that you're gonna do online parties. Do not open up everything every day, every week, every month. So for example, in the month of April, I did online parties. I did not really focus on in-home parties. I am focused on in-home parties in May though. I've got nothing but in-home parties. But last month, I really did nothing but online parties. And so this is what happened. I reached out to all of my contacts and I told them all that they won my Spring Fling $40 annual prize. And that's if they have an online party with me in the month of April, they get to cash in and spend 40 bucks with me. And out of all of my contacts, I actually had 42 women say yes. Out of those 42 women that said yes to an online party with me in April, 23 of them actually had one. I'm just putting these numbers out there to kind of show y'all legit numbers. It's always 50%. It is always half. If you're having an in-home party of 15 people, then 8 or 9 of them are going to show up, and then maybe 6 or 7 of them are going to shop. It is all about the actual understanding that it's okay if less is more. I hope that makes sense. You know, I never worry when the ocean never worries when the tide is low. So do not worry. Do not worry. But when I say think of the numbers, you've got to go after and you've got to think about more so you can get some, if that makes sense. All right. So as far as the hybrid business, I work it every other month and I work a little bit during the month. So for example, every other month is a powerhouse of either virtual parties for me or in-home parties is where my focus is. Then during every month, no matter what type of party I'm doing, every month I am always working the VIP group. Okay, so, and then I do a weekly email out to all my customers. And I know you might think, oh my gosh, she does a weekly email to all of her customers. You guys, when I started doing that back in 2018, I thought I was crazy. But then I looked at J.C. Penney and Kohl's and all these other places Bed Bath and Beyond places. There's a lot of places out there that send coupons and send weekly stuff. Hell, there's a weekly advertisement that goes around the mail with different coupons in it. So I thought to myself, why don't I just start sending out a weekly email to my customers? And you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but it really works for me. And it's part of my virtual business. So that's why I'm talking about it. But every Sunday night, I sit down and I type up a very simple, hey girl, hey. I use her name, of course. I always customize the emails and I always say her name. So I'll say, hey, Becky, what were you up to this week? This is what I was up to this week. I did this many parties, or I went on vacation with my family, or I had a big old adult Easter egg hunt, and here's a replay video on my YouTube of what happened. Or I'll talk about this funny TikTok video I made that they can go watch. Or if I'm having a huge sale, like I've got my wonderful summer, it's called the Woohoo Big Summer Blowout Sale, and I do it on the 1st of June every year. And so I'm talking about that in my emails right now. I'm talking about, hey, I'm putting together some bundles. I hope you're pre-registered. So every week, it's kind of just like a little Wanda's World update. And it was really powerful. And it really becomes powerful around life events. So for example, I bought and sell a home. I sold and bought a home last year. And so every week I would send out an email and I would say, hey, me and the kids are sitting in the front yard packing up some more boxes to go to storage. What are you up to? And so it just really connects. And I do that all over email. And my email business has gone way up in the last couple of years, simply because I've stayed very consistent with it. And I know that Becky is over here talking to me too. So I hope all this weekly stuff makes sense, but let me get into my notes, okay? So let me go backwards because I kind of talked about a few of these things already, but to really make your business work for you in home and online, I'm going to have to talk about it again, but I actually block my days. Remember how I talked about blocking time? I block my days. So I know in my head until I change it again, but I only change it maybe once a quarter. So I only change it maybe 3 or 4 times a year. But in my head, I know right now I am only booking parties on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. That is because in my area of Virginia, it's very warm, people are outside, and the sun is literally in the sky until 8:30 p.m. So I love a Friday, Saturday, Sunday party and in the evening real late. So I can actually, spend the day at the beach with my kids, or I can go to the park, or I can go to the concert or whatever that's happening in my very touristy town. So, but during the winter, like just in December, November, and October, I was partying Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So there's blocks in my head of actual party days. And I get to choose what type of party. Is it going to be in home or is it going to be online? And when I block those days, for example, right now in my head, I know for a fact that I only have an online party from Wednesday to Wednesday. So if somebody hits me up and they want to have a party, they will start their party with me on a Wednesday and I wrap it up on a Wednesday. And guess what? I only do online parties 1 week out of the month. Let me blow your mind real quick. When I talk about blocking blocking hours, blocking months, excuse me. Do I have blocking weeks in here? Where did my blocking weeks go? So when I talk about blocking days and blocking weeks, for example, I usually have my online parties in the middle of the month. At the beginning of the month, I am talking to that hostess who wants to have her online party. She is getting girls into the group, but we don't actually start it yet. And then once we start it, once she starts adding people, it's Wednesday, then I start posting. But we don't actually start it until the middle of the month. I get her excited. She gets her expectations. I give her a few steps to follow. We start creating the group, but it's a very almost kind of like a slow process. And then boom, that Wednesday we kick it off. I usually have a few hostesses. Like I said, last month, I was really in it to win it. So I had over 20 and I schedule everything through Visly. I do all pre-recorded videos. I do not go live and I send my hostesses steps and I connect with the girls in the group. I keep it very simple. Then at the end of the week, I make sure everybody is added to my VIP group because then I delete the party group and I delete everybody in it and we move right along. Because if you are not here with us, you're going to miss it. And that's why we take so long to get it started too, because everybody knows, okay, it's going to start on this day. It's going to end on this day. And then I better move up and move on if I want to keep in touch. So I block those days and for my in-home parties, and then I block those days for my online parties. Now, blocking hours. We talked about that. In the morning, my morning hours for work, that is when I make sure Visly is good to go if I've got any online parties. That's when I talk to my hostesses and make sure that they've got all of their party tools for their in-home parties. That's when I send my online hostesses their steps is first thing in the morning. Because guess what? I cannot be sending that stuff first thing at night because everybody's winding down for the day and she's not going to see it for a while. But if you send it out first thing in the morning, she's probably going to catch it on her lunch break or when she goes to the bathroom. So block your hours and pick your chunks of hours that you're going to work your online business and you're going to work your in-home business. Okay. And then block your months. Make sure you pick a month that you're going to work your online flash sale or your online birthday party or your online Easter egg hunt or whatever you're doing online. Honestly, if you want to pick up more online business, if you don't want to do it monthly, you can actually do it weekly and have a different theme and then just go live in your VIP group. I've done that as well, but I block the months that I'm going to work more online or more in person, because don't feel like you have to work online and in person every day. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. So block your hours, block your days, block your time. Okay. Now let me talk real quick about both of these, because 50% in person, 50% online. I don't know if you want to take a quick screenshot of that, but 50% in-person events and then 50% online events. So let's talk about that. We'll start with the 50% online. Okay. You've got weekly events, you've got monthly events, and you've got yearly events that are happening to your business when it's online. Okay. So when your online business is happening yearly, you're thinking about your annual flash sales, your, if you do any lingerie, boudoir shoots, if you do an annual Pink Friday sale, if you do an annual Christmas in July sale, whatever your annual event is, it has got to be big, it has got to be powerful, and it's got to be planned. So that's planned part of your online business. Your monthly online business could be that monthly online party, or you could have a monthly birthday party. You could have a monthly lingerie show that you do. You could have something every month online. For example, in the month of April, I did a lot of online Easter egg hunts, you know. All right. So then you talk weekly. Your weekly online business could be that Wednesday to Wednesday online party. It could be a weekly sale that you do online. It could be one of those free toy, free discounts, free something with our websites online. Your weekly online business is your weekly emails that you send out to your customer base to let them know what's going down that week. Because believe me, I let them know when there's a free toy on my website that week. And believe me, they look at it and they're excited. So 50% online, weekly, monthly, and yearly. All right. And then, of course, there's more ways to work online. And I've actually got my team website, which I do believe I put in my post. But there's some great stuff on there too. I've got a couple of documents. If there's one document, it is the 10 online hostess tips that I send to my online hostesses. Legit, it's what I copy and paste to them for them to do for their online parties. So if Beth, you need a system, you can start, adopting mine and then put your own flavor to it and make it yours. And then, of course, the other thing I have on my team website that my team is always, and other teams are always asking me for, is the 3 ways to grow your VIP group every single month. Again, that's a monthly online activity that you should be doing for your business, is making sure your VIP group grows, right? And so I have 3 ways you can do that every single month. And then the other document on our team website that you guys can definitely follow up with me on is, the 5 ways of making money every month here at Pure Romance. Again, monthly ways you can do stuff. So definitely check it out. I put my team website up on my post earlier. It had like all my ideas from all the things I use, all the different apps I use to help me manage my time and things like that. So last but not least, and then I'll go back to the comments. I think I see some questions. This is your moment. It's 40. Okay. I told myself not to be any longer than about 30 to 40 minutes. So we just hit 48 minutes, 49 minutes. Okay, the time is going. I am going to be off of here soon. I love putting this up for the replay, but anything longer than an hour just turns people off. So I'm going to do my best to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes. So get your questions in the comments right here, right now. If you know somebody that was dying to ask me a question live, you better tag her butt right now. And if you do think of your question and I'm no longer up here live, that is quite all right. Get in the comments and you're going to probably fall asleep tonight. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I forgot my question. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, oh my God, I remembered the question that I wanted to ask LaWanda and Becky. And then boom, you can come right back here to this video on the comments. I will come check it in the morning. Okay. Now, the last piece is, how do you do 50% of your business in person? Well, every single month, I do a vendor event. I try to shoot for at least 10 in-home parties. And then I do at least one pop-up shop. Now, I used to carry all of my stock and my demo and all my stuff in bags. All these different bags. And I used to do pop-up shops where I would literally just show up to a parking lot somewhere that I knew a bunch of women were working, like at the DMV or at the bank, or if I saw somebody doing a food truck on a Friday at their place of business, I would literally pull my car up, pop open my trunk, and then pop open a table and just have a pop-up shop. Now, I have a big Pure Romance mobile boutique that took me about 5 years to save up, to plan for, and to really make it happen in my life and to really manifest it. I picked it up in December. I started using her in January, and now my monthly pop-up shops are super popular because now I just pull up and I swing open the side door. You can still do the same thing with your truck. 10 parties. Again, I try to book Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So that's about 3 parties a week. For example, I have one this Friday. The theme this Friday night is martinis and wieners. And that is not my idea. That is the hostess's idea. And then Saturday is bad moms. Bad moms. I love that. And then Sunday is a floral PG Pure Romance party for a very virgin crowd of ladies that in particular do not want to see anything in my gun case. But don't you worry, there's already one girl from the party that's already messaged me, and she's like, hey, are you bringing toys to, to kind of hide them? Are you still bringing them though? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm still bringing them. So again, I shoot for those 10 in-home parties, and the first thing I do with my hostess is I pick a theme. I don't even pick a day. I literally pick a theme. I'm like, oh, you want to have a party? Okay, great. What kind of fun are you looking to have? Here's some ideas. I do chips, dips, and sex tips. That's a really popular one. I do Jello shots and flip-flops. That's a really popular one. Bad moms, or pretty much anything these girls want to do. So, and then a vendor event, in person every single month. Vendor event. Try to find something that doesn't cost a lot of money, and literally you're going there with the ambition of collecting and connecting with people in person, so you can fill up your customer contact list so they can be a part of your email weekly list, and they can hear from you more often, and they can be a part of your VIP group. So that vendor event, I'm not necessarily trying to book a ton of parties every month or trying to sell a bunch of product. I go into my vendor events with the mentality of connecting and growing, because I want my Rolodex, I want my customer contact list to triple this year. And so I'm going to make sure of that by connecting and doing vendor events. And half the time, especially right now in the summer, I'm going to like garden pop-up shops that are inviting vendors out, or places that are doing food truck events or concerts or anything, or a yard sale. I mean, they're having all kinds of stuff. You can just pull right up and pop right out, and you're not necessarily going to have a yard sale in the front of your house or anything. You're not going to pop up a table with your product at a yard sale. But what I'm saying is you can do a drive by and do like a pop-up shop, and just put out some bath and beauty items, or at least go there and pass out your business card, or pass out your coupons you're using that month. So many ways you could connect at a vendor, or just thinking yourself as a mobile business all the time is going to help you with that. Now, when I say all the time, I want you to remember that's only during your block of time. Because when you're with your kids and you're with your family and you're with them, be there in the moment, but knowing that you are looking forward to going back to work to focus. Okay, so those were all my notes. Let me go look at the comments because I think I covered everything and we're at about 54 minutes. Let's see how the live is doing over in the Lady Locks. Okay, we're good. Look at that. All right, let me scroll back up and check it out. Oh, your Mary Christensen books. Oh, I love the Lady Locks library. Oh, I love that. You guys should totally do that. Okay, so Visly.com, and then EngageCRM.io is another site that I use often. Very, very helpful. Oh, did I just spell that incorrectly? I probably did. Let me go spell it better. It should come up now. Okay, there it goes. No, not Visly. I'm fired, Becky. I'm fired. Okay, Engage. There it is. So just in case anybody's curious, I have dabbled in a lot of different text and email marketing. I've done Square, I've done Project Broadcast, I've tried Comments Sold, and I've tried a lot. I feel like I've tried a lot, but I always come back to this system. Now, I know for a fact that Pure Romance and Chris and Corporate, they have a lot of things coming out this year for us. And without telling too many secrets and doing too many things, just so you know, the board of directors are testing things, and I look forward to using new things that are coming out. But for the time being, I need communication with my customers, and my Rolodex has grown tremendously over my course of my decade in business. So I needed something to manage a big Rolodex. So Engage can do that. And because Engage is so amazing, and yes, it does cost money, but Engage is what I call my virtual assistant. It literally does all of my birthday text every month. It does all of my 2 by 2 by 2 for me. It texts people for me 2 days after a party, 2 weeks after a party, 2 months after a party. Like, it's all set up. I hit a button and it's done. And then and then of course it also does, Engage also does the fun follow-up words. Like if somebody was to text you the word fun, it does an auto text back to collect their information. So I haven't used a connection card since I started with Engage, when Engage started like 9 years ago or 8 years ago now. So I love it. It's a great system and I use it every single day. And yes, it does cost money, but if it's worth every time. I believe there's a $30 plan and there's an $80 plan, and so worth it. And then it customizes the emails for you. So for example, when I do that weekly email I'm talking about, I use Engage, and all I do is press a button and I just type up my email, and then I send it off to my customers. And when it gets sent off to my customers, I can put in the subject line, "Hi, Becky, happy, Easter week," or something like that. And then in the subject or in the body, I can say, "Hey, Becky, have a great day. Thanks for reading my email, Becky," at the very end. Like, I can put her name all over that email, which is great because people love their name. I'm not going to lie. I love my name. I love your name. I love Beth's name. I love everybody's name. All right, I'm scrolling through the comments. I'm done talking. I'm now reading. I'm going to read. Love that you blocked off the month for them. Do you do that every time? Do I alternate? I alternate a lot. I think this month I have maybe 5 online parties total compared to last month where I was looking at almost, 20, 30 online parties. I don't do that much volume of online parties every single month because I have other stuff to do. And I love to get in person just about as much as I'm online. So that's why I'm a 50-50 hybrid. So then this month I've got like 16 in-home parties and like I said, like 5, online. So you can do, and then last month I had like 2 in-home parties. So that's the 50-50 hybrid. Every other month I alternate and it keeps me balanced. It keeps me selling. So on the off months that I'm not doing online parties, because I just had a powerful online party month before, I usually see sales trickle in to the following month. So there's still online business coming. All right. What are you at for sales so far this year? I think I just hit like 35 or 36. I took a lot of January off, so my year really didn't start until February. I bought a house in December that I was literally living out of 2 storage units with my family most of 2021 because we were, preparing a house for sale. We were staging that house for pictures and walkthroughs and inspections and all kinds of stuff. And then we were moving into the new house again, preparing the new house, getting it inspected, getting it bought. It was a long process last year. And so by the time we got into the new house, it was Christmas. And so I took a lot of time off in January, which was crazy to everybody on my team. They're like, "You're doing what in January?" And I'm like, "I'm not really doing any parties. I'm doing sales." So February, March, and April, and now into May, yeah, I'm sitting at just about 35, but I do have a huge flash sale coming up. And so I'll probably hit 50 in the next month. That's what I'm most likely. But again, that's my blocks of time. That's my volume of business that I know that I'm working towards, that's going to happen for me. And in my mind, that's just what I know is going to happen. And so then by the time, July and August gets here, September, I start powerhousing a little bit heavier. I take off a little bit of summer, and then October, November, and December, it's more work. And I know by the end of the year, I'll probably hit 100, and that's fine. I don't want to do more volume than that this year. Again, if anybody's up here watching and you're like, "Oh, I need to be huge. I need to be doing thousands and thousands all the time." You don't have to, but if you want to, then you should. And please know that you can select the amount of volume of work and sales and business you do. But remember, you have to have something. You have to have some kind of volume to stay here. So continue to work, right? Oh yeah, Beth. Woohoo! Big summer blowout. Literally, it's from that Frozen movie, and I use that guy, that redheaded, bearded guy, in a lot of my marketing, so people think of his woohoo big summer blowout. And yeah, so keep it fun. I've been doing this for a couple of years and it's really worked out. So that's a great question, Becky. Beth says, "I do a monthly one. Do you mix it up? What are you going to say?" Yeah, that must be about my email. I am literally just giving them an update and letting them know what's going down that week. What service do I use? I use Engage for my service. Yeah, the follow-up time, Becky, that is what I spend a lot of time on, is connecting, reconnecting, following up, and making sure people are satisfied, especially from an online party. Vivi says, "Not sure if you said this. I had to leave for a minute. What do you use for your online party? Square, Common Sold, or e-commerce?" I use, what is she talking about? What do you do for online parties? If I'm having an online party, they're shopping online. The only person who shops with me from an online party is my hostess. Everybody else is shopping on the link, and I'm giving them a coupon code, and they do not shop from my van. They do not shop from my stock when it's an online party, because I'm a hybrid business and I'm doing in-home parties. I need my stock for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for those parties. So yeah, I use Square to send invoices to my hostesses for my online parties. If people need refills of like if I get a random message from somebody and they're like, oh, I need a refill of a coochie bottle, can I stop by and pick it up today? I will say no. I will say, here's my website link. It can be shipped to you in just a couple of days. If you want something today, we should have a party. I've got an opening tomorrow. Why don't you have a friend come over and I will pull up in my van and you and her can get your refill of coochie and I'll give you a discount. She needs to be a party. She needs to be a hostess if she wants to shop with me in person. I know, call me crazy. Call me crazy, but it's been working ever since I've been using the van since February, pretty much January, February. So yeah, call me crazy, but it's been awesome. It's been awesome. So, but Vivi, I use Square for all, like Square is pretty much my mini CPA, because if I take cash, Venmo, Cash App, if I take checks, if I take anything, all the things I give a receipt for out of Square. All right. This is on top of your online parties for the month. You do onlines. So I hope that makes sense. Becky, I know you asked that question about 20 minutes ago, so I was probably talking about the hybrid portion of alternating. Hopefully that makes sense. But Becky, girlfriend, you know you can just hit me up. We can talk and dive deeper. On my link tree, which I pretty sure I put this up here for you guys. You can actually book what's called a discovery call. A discovery call with me is free. My clients, my team, you, you guys can book a discovery call. And Becky, anybody from here can book a discovery call with me. And it's where we discover more. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's see. Becky says she needs to watch something tonight. I'm not sure what that was. Why did you switch to Engage from Project Broadcasts? Oh, that's a great question. So Becky, get this. My good friend, Heather Pillow. I know I say that like that, but yeah, Pillow. She pretty much told me back in February, she was like, LaWanda, you are wasting money with Engage and you should come over to Project Broadcast. So I talked to my people in Engage and they paused my account while I went to try Project Broadcast. Now I have been with Engage since Engage started, and I really was using them for everything, for emailing, for texting, for following up, for flash sales. For example, last July, last June, July, when I did my flash sale, it was my first year taking it off of Facebook. And I did it all over text and email, and it was all through Engage. And it was fantastic, you guys, fantastic. Okay. But I tried Project Broadcast for February, March, and April. And on May 1st, I cried and I said, I cannot do Project Broadcast. It does not have everything I need. So I had to go and turn my Engage back on. I called Pillow and I was like, Pillow, Project Broadcast is not for me. I will go spend extra money and have my convenience and have my easy, simple stuff with Engage. So there's that. And the reason I'm not using comments sold, I think somebody, I don't know if anybody asked that, but I tried comments sold last year for 3 months. Again, I try to give everything, at least a quarter, I'll try. And it didn't work. I don't like it. Not my thing. All right. But if you use it, like I have people on my team that use it and love it, please use it. I'm just a simple kind of gal. Simple. All right. But it was your monthly events. Becky, I am lost in the sauce and I just hit an hour. So I've been up here for an hour now, y'all. But the monthly events, we can talk about what I do. They're different every month. I don't do the same thing. For example, last year I had something in person, I had something online, and each month was good to go. As far as like my theme, like one month was all about the healthy living brand. So all of my lives and all of my posts and everything was about the healthy living brand. And then I did BDSM, where I went live and I talked about, cuffs and clamps and cuffs. That was fun. That was a whole month of BDSM. Facts and trivia and stuff like that. I also did, for the first time last year, my first lingerie fashion show where I wore the shapewear piece and I'm standing up, in my video, and I change outfits and I change in and out of lingerie live. That was a whole lingerie month. So I think I just gave you like 4 months out of 12. So if you think about it, keep it real simple. Out of 12, you've only got to come up with 12 themes for that year for your VIP group and really pound town it. Okay. Oh, she said go to bed. Girlfriend, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 people I need to go drop stuff off to tonight. So it's about 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I do need to go because I will be out driving my big, beautiful van of awesomeness until probably 10:30, about an hour, because my kids and I spent so much wonderful time this afternoon together, and UPS did not show up on time. And the 6 women that I'm going to go see are all within the same like neighborhood. And the reason I have to do this is because tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., all 6 of these women are leaving to attend a weekend wedding. All of these women were at my party last week, and no joke, one of them bought a swing. I had one swing left in the van, so she took it, and then everybody else at the party had to get a swing. Now get this. Are you ready? You guys, this is going to blow your mind. All of these brides and bridesmaids that are getting together this weekend down in the Outer Banks, which is like a hop, skip, and jump from my house, because I live, right here in the Virginia, North Carolina border. And all 6 of them, you guys, they're going to put the swings up in the hotel on the doors in the hallway. And they came up with this idea. This is not me, I promise you. So you know how you can put up our frequent flyer door swing and you got the weights, and they should be doing this on the inside of the hotel doors, but they want to take a picture of all of them sitting in their swings on the outside of their hotel room in the hallway. Oh, this is going to be a great bridal photo. So yeah, I'm going to run and deliver some swings. That's what I got to go do here in my city. But don't you worry. I turn on the music. I turn on the lights. My kids are in bed. Literally, my husband just got home from his job 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, about the time that I started this live. I went ahead and started talking to y'all, and my work night I'll probably get back here about 10:30, and I want to catch up with some emails and some messages, and then I'll probably rinse off, wash my face, and go to bed about 11:30, 11:45. I try to get in bed about midnight unless it's Wednesday, and it's not Wednesday. Wednesday was yesterday, and on Wednesdays, I treat myself like I live on the West Coast. So I live on West Coast time on Wednesdays. So I don't usually go to bed till maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, because I have a lot of West Coast team. I have team in Canada, And so they like to be up with me on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then I talk to a lot of my West Coast online hostesses on Wednesdays. And then I have family that I talk to on the West Coast on Wednesdays. So, all right, I'm done. I've been up here for way too long. Love you so much. Hey, guess what? If you are still live, if you are still here, drop a 5 if you're live right here, right now, so I can say bye. Like, drop a 5 so I can say bye. And here are my words of wisdom for you tonight. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Do not yuck anybody's yum. And happy orgasms to all. And to all a good night. And remember, you don't have to do it all right now. You have tomorrow. And that's not procrastinating. That is giving yourself grace and understanding. All right. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, look at all the 5s. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Becky. Oh, excuse me. Bye, Alicia. Bye, Becky. Bye, Beth. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the invitation, Becky. And hey, I'm going to have to do this again. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.